Keep coming up to Alex! Yeah, he's doing a great job. How y'all doing tonight? My name is Socrates. I am an American. Yep, same reaction in the Netherlands. You guys watch the news. Let me try again. My name is Socrates. I am Greek American. I've at least tried to cater to the audience. Yeah, I'm born in the U.S., but I've been living about 14 years in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam. And when I tell a Greek person I'm living in Amsterdam, they go, say I'm in the Netherlands, they go, say I'm in Holland, they go, Hollandia. So I'm Socrates, I live in Hollandia. It's interesting. It's different cultures. Like I said, I'm born in the U.S. and raised there, but I've been living in the Netherlands 14 years. And it's language barriers. You know, it's hard to different cultures. You go different places. Like I'm here in Athens at the moment. I thought I'll go to the comedy center with a taxi. How hard could that be? Yeah, it dropped me out at Toulouse. 10 minutes or more down the way from here. I thought he knew what he was doing. He was one of those taxi guys that doesn't use the phone or a computer at all because he knows where he's going. He went where he was going. Wasn't here. I thought this would have been a more helpful location, but in the end I found it, so it worked out okay. Like I say, the language is hard. I mean, Greek, of course, is a difficult language if you don't speak Greek. It's easy if you do. Dutch is the world's third hardest language. You know, it's much easier for me than Greek, because I speak Dutch. You know? But like the differences in the language, like in Dutch, like when the taxi drives you to the wrong place and drops you off, there's a word in Dutch for that. It's it's sort of a sarcastic sigh. It's just a Dutch thing, you know. It's a word you'll hear if you're in the Netherlands long enough, especially if you go out with some of the Netherlands. You missed your flight, whatever. But in Greece, you have a word too. It's suddenly a very Greek word, which is it's a Greek word. You know, if you do that in the Netherlands, they don't know what you meant. But you know, you offer somebody a coffee, and you all guys know what it means. You know. But when I speak Dutch to my friends, my family, they all worry that I'm having a stroke, you know, because we do a lot of huffing, you know. It's a very good sound. You know, we have all these sounds to choose from, but the Dutch went with all the time, you know. Like when I said to my father, I said, happy, he said, no, you sound like a German, which is very offensive, you know. As a Greek and someone who lived in the Netherlands, this is not the perfect thing to tell me. I sound like a German. You know, say you sound Dutch, that would be complimentary. But no, I sound German. You know, the word graag means pleased to do it. It's a nice word, graag. You know, I mean it is. It sounds Klingon. You know, I think they got Klingon from the Dutch, personally. You know, but like one of my favorite words in the Netherlands, like, you know, again, I'm born and raised in the U.S. We have to have our own special words. You know, every culture has its own word. It helps you out. Like in America, we have a word called mass shootings. Do you know the difference between a mass shooting and a shooting? Yeah, 4 or more makes a mass shooting. Yeah, you get shot in a shooting, nobody cares. It's not at all impressive. 3 people, who cares? You know. But you know, in the Netherlands, they have a word for like a wonderful warm evening. Like, this is an empty room without us, but together as a group, we come in this little place, we make this really wonderful thing, and the Dutch have a word for that, which is gezellig. Yeah, it's a very Dutch word, you know, because it starts with a ch, ends with a ch. It's got a zel in the middle. But it's a nice thing, because it's sort of, we do it as a group. It's what makes the country good, because see, in the Netherlands, it gets dark really, really early, and it rains all the time. So you can be depressed and suicidal, or you could say, hey, this is fantastic. We make it into a nice thing as a group. We make it gezellig as a group. You know, here, the weather's beautiful, great food. You don't need anybody. You can feel meaner to each other, you know. Great Greek word, of course, is malaka. Although you have to say it, malaka. You know, I understand there's a difference in the phrasing of it. But again, it's just a question of cultures, you know what I'm saying? So I like it. I've been living there for a while. I like it. It's a different experience as an American. You know, you find different places in the world to live, and different, because Americans, they don't know about the world, you know? They think, you ask them, what country can you name outside of America? They'll say, Africa. Which arguably is not a country. Not in America, because they just don't know these things. It's just something that doesn't come up, you know? See, Americans in the Netherlands as tourists, they're always complaining about everything because there's not enough McDonald's around, and it's hard to find a Taco Bell. I don't know. Everybody's got their own thing, you know? But again, the Netherlands has got its own special food, etc. It's like I moved to the Netherlands for the food, but I stayed for the weather. You haven't been there, oh, it's great. One of my favorite Dutch words is a word for the little tiny rain that gets in your face, because we need different words for different kinds of rains. It's a word called misery. It's this rain that you just get all in your face. It's a little thing. And I think it comes from the word miserable. And it is sort of an unfortunate thing. That does happen there a lot. And again, everybody remember we went through recently, a little while ago, we did the self-meditation phase where we all got in touch with ourselves, spent time home, during COVID. Yeah. Anybody miss COVID? Never went away from here, did it? Yeah. Did you guys have a full-blown lockdown? Because we were locked down for like 2 years. Yeah. I could use a little more lockdown. I have some projects I never finished. But as COVID finally ended back in March, I thought it was time for a new Socrates. I've been home alone, get in touch with myself. Not like the other comedians, but, it's more spiritual, And I thought, my plan that day was I was going to go to the sauna. It was my plan. I thought I'd go to the sauna, sweat a little bit, bunch of Dutch people. Nice day. It'd be gezellig. But God had another plan that day for me, because he wanted me to learn Dutch better than I knew it. So he taught me a Dutch word that I didn't want to learn, which was aangereden. It's got a suck in it. And unfortunately, it means to be slammed into. Yeah, because I was riding my bike, a very Dutch thing to do. And I had the ultimate Dutch accident, because I got slammed into by a scooter coming the other way. And he smashed into me head on, and I went flying through the air, like a bird. But I landed like an octopus. My arms got broken, it wasn't good. And I got to go to the house of paracetamol, the hospital there, and the weird thing is, they sent me an ambulance. Well, I asked for an ambulance, and the guy asked me, am I going to pass out? And I said, I don't think so. He said, take a taxi. And tonight's taxi was anything to net. I was never going to get to the hospital. And I said to him, I think I'm going to pass out. Smart thinking there. He said, I'll send you an ambulance. Worked out fine for me. Of course, I didn't know where I was because I was riding my bike. When the ambulance finally showed up, he offered me fentanyl. Yeah, now I'm an American. Don't tease me. Give me the heroin. And the other thing about a taxi and an ambulance, you have to set it up with the taxi beforehand to get the fentanyl. Ambulance had it with him. Hooked me up. And so he finally takes me to the hospital there, and they took a look at my x-ray, and they had this horrible reaction that you don't want any doctor to do, which was, better if you just go. At least I would have known where I was standing. And they basically, the top of my shoulder kind of got smashed into itself. It was a really good kind of fun-filled way to end lockdown and come back to the new world. And they sent me home with this blue strap. They did the thing they call conservative treatment. You know what conservative treatment is? It's nothing. Just nothing. They gave me a blue strap with a piece of Velcro, sent me home with the words, it comes good. Now in the Netherlands, it comes good is medical advice. Everybody will tell you this. Therapists will tell you it comes good. My butcher said to me it comes good. I believed him because he knows bones, And they sent me home with this optimistic phrase and told me to keep exercising my arm because they didn't want me to pick up a frozen shoulder. Yeah, broken shoulder, not a problem. Frozen shoulder, woo, big deal. And they told me to keep moving it, so I can only raise it about so far. They told me to keep pushing it up higher. And I said to him, you know what this looks like, right? He said, yeah, I know. Do you want your frozen shoulder? I said, no. So I was home, waving at my neighbors. Getting a bad vibe from the entire neighborhood. Wasn't good, you know what I mean? I did this thing, this joke in a place called Inglessis, which is right next to Germany. They all understood it completely. And I went back to my doctor and said, hey doc, my arm does not come higher than this. I cannot raise my arm. I have arm erectile dysfunction. And he said, well, helaas appendicus, which is a Dutch saying which means, oh well, peanut butter? Doesn't help to know what that means, does it? No, it's completely useless saying, but it rhymes. The Dutch love a good rhyming sentence. That's one of their favorite things is rhymes, you know what I mean? But anyway, so finally they did surgery on me. It took them 8 months to finally do surgery on me. Took a piece of bone out of my knee, gave me 12 screws in my arm, sent me home and said, hey, comes good. It wasn't coming good at all. No, I used to have horrible pops. The thing would pop agony, just make me I had pain Tourette syndrome. Because it would pop, and I would go, pop, sorry. And it wasn't any good, but that's what happened. So basically 4 months later, they came up with another word, as a Greek word, by the way, is necrotic. Yeah, my arm turned necrotic. Dying. Yeah, necromancers and such. And this involved more surgery. Yeah. So now I have a reverse prosthetic shoulder, and where I had a ball, now I have a socket. Where I had a socket, now I have a ball. So arguably I have a trans shoulder. I'm not really sure. And then I thought, well, that's okay. This is new Socrates. I can handle being him. You know what I mean? How bad was it? I always thought it was done, you know? And then in August, I ended up having a stroke. Yeah. Strokates. Yeah. It wasn't worth the joke. It's really all I got out of it, though. You know? And blood thinners. Yeah. Yeah, so you think to yourself, you know, life is a bitch and it's not good. Don't worry. It'll get a lot better, trust me. Because I'm 57, and I don't know if you know it, but the Dutch do the numbers backwards, so that's 75 in Dutch. Yeah. It's very confusing to be in Dutch as an American, because everything's dyslexic. You know, the numbers are backwards, the dates are backwards. You know, I had a show on the 11th or the 12th of November, and another show on the 11th of December. I could not tell these two dates apart. You know, because in America, it's the only country that does it backwards, because we're Americans. Trust us, we lead the world. And they do the 24-hour clock. That's also very confusing to me as well. It took me a while to get that one as well. And just generally being there, it's just a confusing kind of a situation. And so after having the stroke, it makes it even more fun. You know what I mean? You're like, am I forgetful? Or am I a stroke victim? A little bit of both. Column A, column B. You do what you can. But I'm finding it interesting. I'm happy to be in Europe now. I'm finally going to get my citizenship. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm going to give up my American citizenship. So if there's any racists and xenophobes who want to live in America, I'm leaving a space open. I think it's funny that the Greeks are sort of against immigrants. I had many times I've come here, I've never had a Greek person praise the Dutch government. But I bought some shoes, and a guy told me, I really like your new PM. I don't know if you know it or not, it's a crazy guy named Kurt Wilders, and he's basically anti-immigrants. And I think it's ironic that the Greeks don't understand that in every other country, we're the immigrants. You know, this is the only country that we're not immigrants, you know? So it's like, if you don't like immigrants, and you don't live here, you're talking about us, you know? My father left in '48, went to the U.S. after the war. He's an immigrant. I came back. I'm an immigrant. So, you know, you kind of appreciate the immigrants because it could be us. It could be you, you know. I think that it's weird, though, that America is now kind of doing this fascism thing. I don't know if you've picked up on this. We don't really know history. You can tell. Why do fascists always look so strange, you know? Little mustaches, weird hair. What is the deal? Why do people like a fascist with strange hair? You know, what's wrong with a good-looking fascist at least? Something, you know? That's the thing, it's like Argentina's turning a bit fascist, you know? Now the Netherlands is turning a little bit fascist. I don't quite get it. You know, I think that politics itself has become sort of a bad word, you know, but people don't know that politics, it's a Greek word. Yeah, it comes from poly, which means many, and pigs. It's a blood-sucking parasite that spreads diseases. Politics. Makes more sense, right? Now, I told my dad that joke, and Dad gave me a long-winded explanation about the meaning of the word politics and where it comes from in Greek. And I said to him after he finally ran out of time, I said, is that funny? He said, no. I'll stick with my definition, you know? It's like the democracy itself. Politics is giving democracy a bad name. I don't know if you guys know it, but democracy, it's a Greek word. Yeah, it comes from demo, to try out, and concede. This is Greek for wine. People just wanted to have some wine. They wanted a party. They just wanted a good time. That's why political organizations are called parties. Yeah. That's why I vote for the Green Party, because nobody parties at the Green Party parties. It never gets a cheer in the Netherlands, which is encouraging for the environment, you know. As an old person, that's your problem, not mine. I like the fact that the Greeks have not only the Communist Party, which is an odd concept for democracy, voting for the communists, and then they have the ultra-communists, which is, you know, The communists are just too mild for you, you know. Then you have organized anarchy here. How do you organize an anarchist? It just seems strange to me. I don't quite get that as a concept, you know what I mean? Is that right? Is it that long? I'm not sure about the time. I'm not going to give you a bell, so I have no clue how long I'm here. But like I said, it's a great thing to like be in the world, you know what I mean? As a person who God didn't want around, you know, I know the Greeks are very, very religious for the most part, at least you like to be. I'm not that religious, but God's plan in me hasn't worked out that good, you know? I thought my plan was better to go to the sauna, and God had a different idea, you know? I find it odd that people are like religious when they know that, see, God knows everything, and God made everything, because God has a plan for everything, you know? So I don't understand why people pray. I mean, He knows you're going to pray, right? You know, He came up with this great idea for you, and He made your life hard, and you're like, well, that's not good. That was the plan. If you're religious, you accept that, right? If you're not, you go to the hospital. Because my doctor, he had a completely different plan. Yeah, his plan was to buy a Jaguar. And now he has a couple of them. You know? And I'm still here on stage, so it worked out okay. You know, he recently told me that he's thinking about making a rainbow of Jaguars. Yeah, after the stroke, he was like, ooh, cha-ching, cha-ching. So, like I said, life itself is tough, you know, and you have to do what you can. As a Greek, you know, you guys live to your 90s, so plan it out. You know, my family certainly lived that long. My aunt passed away at 102, so, you know, you live fast and young, you hurt your knees, oh, you're going to be in pain for a long time. You know, so my advice to you, because I know people come to stand-up comedy shows for advice. That's why you all came here, was to get life advice from people who have made really good choices. Yeah, I work for beer, and I don't drink, so, you know. But in life, you want to make sure that you maintain a work and life balance, because the worst thing in life is when you consume that work and it doesn't really leave you any time for yourself. And so the most important thing is to maintain a work and life balance. And this is doubly important if you're a kindergarten teacher. You never take your work home with you. There you go, that's the advice. You never take your work home with you, which is doubly important if you're a kindergarten teacher. Yeah, you got to do the timing of things. It's all about order, you know. Playing the stroke, yeah. And then you'll all feel bad. You'll say to yourself, hey, how was the comedians last night? Huh? And if you do it in Dutch, you go, yeah, you know, which is about the same. So anyway, I know I didn't have a lot of sex jokes tonight, and I know that's unfortunate, because you guys are really into the sex jokes. I was picking up on that. So I'll tell you, as far as it goes, you know, I was really looking forward to coming here tonight, and when I was told, comedy's a lot like sex, you know, and the more I do it, the more I think that's true, because I was really looking forward to coming here tonight. And now that I came, definitely a little hot, you know. Looking forward to a taxi, but I hope to come again soon. Again, give it up for Alex. My name is Socrates. Thank you all so much.
Round of applause for Athens Inglessis! Yeah, that was the end. Did you like the show? If you like it, you can prove it, because you can write your reviews and your feedback here. We're gonna leave this at the bar. If you want to write some hate mail, you should do this anonymously and not do this over here. We can see who's writing what. Now, please, I want to welcome to stage all the comedians that perform for you. Please, a round of applause for each of them. Dimitris Christodoulou, Athinaiki Palapoulou, our producer, Alexander Filkiridis, Johnny Palograsas, Stavroula Paps, keep it going, Dominic Seeds, Panagiotis Iliopoulos, and of course, Socrates Inglessis. Thank you. I was Alex Tipton, and there's a Mediterranean music and beat down in the place. And there's a bi-weekly show every 2 weeks. There is English stand-up here with different comedians. Tell your friends about it. Also, I'm having my solo stand-up show every Wednesday. So if you want to pull a prank to your Greek friends, you can book a ticket for the... Also, did you eat the chocolates by the bar? Who ate the chocolates by the bar? They were from Johnny. It was his name day. So, from Johnny. It was amazing, yeah. You should try them out. Thank you. Really, see you try.